When the Emperor built the Primarchs, he put in them organs that even the Space Marines don't know, and combined this with warp knowledge, maybe Dark Age technology, and failsafes built into his sons to keep them in his fight to retake the galaxy and purge it. In this video we examine what failsafes the Emperor might have built into his Primarchs so he could intervene with them and to keep them always fighting for his cause. So, welcome friends to another 40k video, and shall we begin? The Primarchs are made to keep fighting even under deep physical failure, so they don't die even when they should, because they have redundancy bio-failsafes placed there by the Master of Mankind from Prince of Crows. When a Primarch is injured, an apothecary looks inside to try and heal them. The news of what they find is reported. Who among the Legion has ever treated a wounded Primarch before? We're working blind. The wounds have closed, though not cleanly. Blood loss is severe. Cranial damage and oxygen starvation are still both potentially terminal or crippling. Hemorrhaging is rampant. Organs I cannot even name are lacerated and severed from vein networks we've never seen before. If he were human, if he were even one of us, a single one of his wounds would be enough to see him dead. He sustained 11 such lethalities. So whatever they do have in them, you can see the level of damage it lets them heal or recover from very quickly. And that's where we bring in this concept, the failsafes. The Emperor installed that to keep the Primarchs on their feet and fighting fit. In 1,000 Suns, Ahriman cuts his gene father Magnus the Red open. Ahriman thought he could see the writhing veins and pulsing organs beneath the Primarch's skin. That was a lie, for he had seen into the heart of Magnus, and there was nothing so mundane as liver, lungs or kidney within that immortal frame. So that gives us further information. They are really not just big Astartes, they are something else. The Emperor spent so much time and resources after making them, he must have wanted to make sure they would be his legacy and not go down in the first round. That is why he added that lethality of their biology, making them nigh on unkillable. I think of their creation less like the Astartes and more like the Custodes. They are works of art, each unique. That time must be spent on them to make them as good as they are. So again, while signs are there of normal things like the brain, i.e. cranial damage and veins, there is something more to it. It seems at least they don't have liver, lungs or kidneys, for example, but equivalents, hyperversions, maybe to support the things they would have to do and survive in their fight. We do know also of some organs they do have. Belisarius Cawl brought a little of the Primarch into the ranks of the Astartes when he introduced the Immortis gland in the Primaris, replacements for the Space Marines, better versions, basically. This is placed in your brain, and with the hormones, it increases the supplies, the body growth, and makes the osmodulla, which helps with rapid growth, and biscopia, which lets Space Marines fight and survive injuries at a superhuman level. That's in Primaris, not Primarchs. So even without it, using these two other organs, you can see how in a full Primarch it would let them fight at their supernatural level. Something they have in common is hearts. We know Primarchs all seem to have two hearts. This gets referenced a few times. Let's go from one for fear to tread in relation to Sanguinius, the great angel. Inside the falling alien temple, the stink of fresh blood hung in the air. Powerful and metallic, Sanguinius licked his lips. He couldn't stop the reflex reaction. His homophagic membrane tasted several different varieties of human vita, analysing them as instinctively as a vintner would know the ages and textures of a wine bouquet. There were alien blood spilled there too, the acrid tang of the Nephilim among it all. That organ allows most Marines, normal Space Marines, to eat genetic material and gain knowledge from that. The Marines get these as memories or experiences. In Blood Angels, this gives them the thirst for the blood. So I think we can say that they do have this organ, the Primarchs, in them. And these show-off Primarchs likely have a stronger one that their sons cannot comprehend. Lethality, biological redundancy, it's more than just being able to be hard to put down. It's also how you act, the knowledge and what that gives you. Knowledge of your enemy, to not need to rely on their failsafes. And the Primarch's minds also carry failsafes. placed there by their father, either for him to have access to them or to control them if needs be. That seems to make them extra human, almost like a demon with the warp inside them. So they're tied to both the warp and the materium. So we have examples of how the Primarchs' memories can be changed and made different by the Emperor. There can be soft reset, redirected, or neutralized even, maybe. And can I say I am completely happy to say this thing may also be because the Emperor is a very powerful psychic, and with hostility takes over the bodies of his sons, i.e. this is not a built-in kill switch. After all, he would have used it when he fought Horus, right? But let's go from the failsafe perspective just for the remaining part of this video. It could be either, is what I'm saying. The big one for mind wipes is the lost Primarchs. The Emperor made 20 sons, 2 are lost, and we all have hints of what happened to them. We do know they were wiped from the memory of many of their brothers for some heretical transaction. In the chamber at the end of memory, Dawn learns of them and recalls them. Something has been done to me. The beginnings of a new fury built in his chest, boiling at the realization of such an affront. You are behind this, Dawn whirled, drawing his chainblade in a glittering arc of lethal metal, bringing it to aim at Malcador's wizened, cloaked, wreathed form. You shrouded my memories. You invaded my mind. For that I should cut you down. The Sigillite showed no reaction to the threat. Not just yours, Guilliman's, and the others who met them. He let his words bed in. It is extremely difficult to extract a reminiscence, Malcador went on. Even in an ordinary human, in a brain as complex and perfectly engineered as that of a Primarch, the task becomes Herculean. Imagine a tree in the earth rising from a web of roots. How would one remove that without disturbing a single atom of the soil? Memory cannot be cut and patched like a mnemonic spool. It exists as a holographic thing in multiple dimensions, but it can be adjusted. So we get a great insight there in the words of Malcador the Sigillite, or Malcador the Hero as he should be known now. This possible failsafe, the complex minds of the Primarchs, will be hard to change even for the Emperor or the Sigillite, but they can be adjusted, a smaller change that stops them having to go deep into that 3D complexity. Could some sort of access have been made so he could make those changes if necessary, and do it in a way that wouldn't damage the complex minds of his sons? And now the Emperor's going full control of his sons. The biggest example we see is brought against Angron and Roboute. Let's go through them. With the Avenging Sun, the Emperor intervened with Roboute when he is going to fall to Mortarion during the Plague Wars by letting his son go all Super Saiyan and take out Mortarion and burn Nurgle's garden as a follow-up when Roboute was on the brink of death. And for this next and final example, I meant Lorgar, not Angron. During the heresy, he commands Lorgar and his legion, the Word Bearers, to kneel. The Emperor is angry at Lorgar, as he and his legion have been worshipping him. He commands the entire legion, and they have to obey, and they do. So that's another example where he's controlled his sons. So let me know what you think to this law. Let me know through the comments below, and I'll get back to you with responses as soon as I can.